And I was gone this weekend. You might have noticed by the startling lack of Zealandisms that were released. I was at a bachelor party in Arizona. That didn't stop somebody from walking up to me at the airport, which was definitely interesting considering I was hungover and sunburnt, which was just like an excellent two-pronged combination to be running into someone with. But they were very nice, so shout out to that dude. Now that I've returned from my bachelor party, it's time to decompress from a huge weekend full of a lot of important matches, right? And the most important match that obviously happened this weekend is the Sidemen charity match, where the YouTube All-Stars and the Sidemen 11 or whatever played against each other. And the end result was whatever they scripted out, right? It always ends up being like a really close game, as is the mandate, which makes complete sense. It's kind of like professional wrestling out there. You want to make sure that you have a nice, entertaining spectacle, or one team doesn't win by 15 goals. And it came down to a penalty shootout where I Show Speed, who apparently after all this time being obsessed with Ronaldo and soccer and football in general, has still not learned how to kick a ball. And yet he did manage to kick a ball right at XQC, some like kind of just to the right of him, and it went into the back of the net anyways. That's not really what I'm talking about. It's not really what I care about. It's a cool event, and most importantly, it raises a lot of money, which is like basically the goal that it has. And they're able to sell out Wembley, and they raised nearly like $5 million for charity, which would make you believe, like, how could you hate on that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the bad thing about it? It's not like when Manchester United sends Garnacho and his latest hairstyle out there that they're raising millions of dollars for charity. They're just finding new lunch ladies to get rid of, right? This is a match where they raised nearly $5 million for charity. And sure, some of the people involved in the match kind of suck. I'm pretty sure there was a Paul brother there. Those guys are just generally awful, right? Like, but there are good, like, one. There are awful players that play in those matches that are actually professional as well. Let's not pretend that there aren't. Although we do like to pretend that Mason Greenwood is not still playing, which he very much is. But yeah, I can't imagine having like a serious overarching problem with the Sidemen charity match. But that didn't stop people. There was like actually a more so than I think I've ever seen before, this kind of serious movement from people that say, can't believe how people let these YouTubers get so famous. They're all little nerds who can't play footy and didn't have mates to go out with after school. Fucking madness. I mean, first of all, obviously this cuts a little deep because in case you didn't notice, I'm a YouTuber. Right? I like to think that even though I was definitely a little nerd, that I could play at least a little footy, and I did have at least a few friends after school. But even if you don't, I always found this line of attack on YouTubers to be dumb. On not just YouTubers, like content creators in general, a Twitch streamer, perhaps a ninja, a Tim the Tat Man, right? Or any other type of content creator, any other type of person that gains any sort of notoriety. So when they're walking around in an airport while hungover and sunburnt, somebody actually comes up to them, right? This line of attack always seems to come in after them. Well, if Alex, I believe this guy right here, Alex has said, I don't know why these people, we let these people get so famous. If it's so easy, do it. There's nothing stopping you. If it's so easy, you know how much money I Show Speed makes? The guy that in the post that he is quoted here, right? Do you know how much money I Show Speed makes? Fucking millions of dollars. Like monthly. Millions. He makes millions of dollars. And it doesn't matter at all that he can't kick a ball. Because, a lot of the people that are in Wembley Stadium are there to see him, or one of the few other guys that were on that field. Because let's be honest, I feel like most of them, I never really know who they are. Now, I'm not the best person to ask. I'm not super plugged into like internet culture, right? Relative to maybe some of you or other people that, like, I'm sure that there are people out there that would be able to recognize the majority of the people at the Sidemen charity match. I am never that person, right? But I Show Speed is one of those people that's like he's in the top tier, right, of creators globally. People that are entertaining, people that people like to watch, people that other people like to watch. Why do these YouTubers, why do these content creators get so famous? Shoot. If it's that easy, if anybody can do it, then do it. I really do think anybody can do it if you put your mind to it. But this always just like blew my mind. Like it was some sort of chemical accident that IShowSpeed got famous. It wasn't. There were hundreds of thousands of people that tried to do what IShowSpeed did. He's the only one that did it. There's a reason for that. Now, certain people are gifted with a particularly voluptuous forehead. That ends up making their entire career, which that's what I have to thank for, at least what we've been able to do here on Zealandism, right? But if you work on the actual percentage of people that try to do what IShowSpeed ended up doing in a, career path wise, and then you look at the one person that actually ended up doing it, there are certain lotteries, depending on what state you're in, that are easier to win than doing what IShowSpeed was actually able to do. I don't know the guy at all. He might be a terrible guy. I'm just using him to make this kind of rhetorical point that these people getting famous was not an accident. They did a lot of things very well, right? They are very typically hardworking, or at least they were at one point, and now they're just living off their laurels. And sometimes they're even intelligent in a way that they are able to figure out what they should be doing. One of those intelligent moves is having the audacity and the logistical skills, on the Sidemen's case, to get a lot of the world's biggest creators together to play a football match that a ton of people want to watch. I guarantee you, if you pulled the actual TV ratings, the Sidemen charity match, and compared it to every other match that was played this weekend in the major leagues, it would be in the conversation. How many teams could you get together in the world and have them play against each other in Wembley and sell the damn thing out? This wasn't the only tweet. I don't mean to zero in on Alex here. He looks like a really cool guy. So I'm not trying to go too hard on Alex, right? Grown men on the train in Sidemen football shirts. Grow the fuck up. Why? People wear anime shirts on the train. That's cool. You like anime, right? People wear football shirts on the train all the time. I do. I like football, right? Sometimes it's like a really out of the way shirt for a team you probably haven't even heard of. And that's cool because I love repping that sort of thing. And if you watch the Sidemen growing up, and now you get tickets to go watch the Sidemen charity match, wear a Sidemen football shirt. I don't get it. Oh, they're sellouts. They're washed. They're probably sellouts. They're almost definitely sellouts. Almost everybody's a sellout, to be honest. Like, it's really rare when somebody's not a sellout, but washed? I don't know, man. They just sold out Wembley for the charity match. Sometimes, it is fun to hate on things. It is. I do it all the time. It's so fun to hate on things. I'll make fun of KSI. I'll make fun of the Paul brothers. Right? I'll make fun of basically anybody. I'll make fun of myself. I make fun of myself all the time. Okay? And it feels really fun and good. But sometimes people get a little carried away with this. Like, in the holier than thou, like, what, you can't like what you like and just have fun? I realize it's a very anti-Zealandism take, typically. But, like, if you are wearing a Sidemen shirt on the train, you're not hurting anybody. You're not hurting anyone. You're going to a freaking charity match. If anything, you're, like, helping way more than anybody that's wearing a shirt for any other team. I don't get it. I really don't. And I think all of it is basically rooted in the idea that is expressed best in this Alex tweet. Like, can't believe we let these YouTubers get so famous, and that somehow the fact that they're not that good at kicking a ball relative to the people that normally play in Wembley, that they don't deserve to be on that stage, that they don't deserve to be on that hallowed ground. I think if you're raising nearly $5 million for charity, you can play wherever the fuck you want. Right? And I think that if you are able to succeed massively as a content creator in some way, as somebody that lives on the inside of that world and is not nearly as successful as any of the people that are on that field, it takes a lot to get to that point. And if it doesn't, and if you don't think that it takes a lot to get to that point, then fucking do it. Because these guys are making so much money. They are getting to play in Wembley. So if it's that easy, do it. You could be there. And if it's that easy, tell me how, so that I don't have to spend hours looking for things to talk about on this channel. Please. Give me tips. Forehead extensions, anything. Yeah, but I don't get the hate on this, really.